WTOP News at 6.
A local push to rewrite the rules for big tech data centers in Ohio. Good evening and thank you for joining us. I'm Phyllis Smith. As Ohio lawmakers consider the regulatory landscape surrounding data centers, the Washington County Board of Commissioners had the opportunity this week to contribute to the conversation. Washington County Commission President Charlie Schilling testified Monday before Ohio's Select Committee on Data Centers, urging state lawmakers to give local governments more say over major data center projects. Schilling said that counties bearing the infrastructure costs of these facilities deserve a seat at the table when the state hands out tax incentives worth tens of hundreds of millions of dollars. He recommended requiring county commissioner approval before any state sales tax exemption takes effect for a qualifying data center, and that developers receiving public subsidies post financial bonds guaranteeing project completion. Schilling said he supports keeping Ohio competitive for data center investment, but argued local communities, not just the state, should have leverage in those negotiations.
I support policies that keep Ohio competitive for these types of developments. At the same time, county boards of commissioners should have a meaningful voice in whether and at what levels state tax incentives are deployed in their communities, because it is the local community that bears the greatest responsibility for overseeing the infrastructure impacts these projects create.
Washington County has been in talks with a hyperscale data center developer since January. Schilling said a combination of property tax and sales tax reforms could make Waterford Township one of the most desirable communities in Ohio. Turning